Xitha,
Yula.
Ubumnyama baphela ukukhanya kwangena
This pen vomit compositions of a dread scribe. He mimic dance of silent monuments that watch us like scarecrows. Secret agent season C sun saving serpents, and mother fathers come out of the closet to frown at paintings in galleries of explicit content where artists attempt to recycle their voices silenced. What's with this freedom of expression that some get insulted when art raises vexed questions, proposing discussions of topics that disgust us, but we throw stones at messengers. They harvest our screams for exhibitions.
Welcome back to another installment of Kwane's Poetic License. It's your boy Kwane. Yeah, I know you guys missed me. We took a little bit of a break there, but we're back with a bang. And joining us today is a special guest, my main man, Xitha. How you doing, bro?
What's up, man?
I'm good, man.
Easy,
So
man.
honored to have you here, man.
Yeah, man.
You know, you guys have just seen his great poem, which wow, it's beautiful, man.
Yeah, man.
Thankful for you, man.
Nah, give thanks.
Cool. Do you mind just for my viewers who might not know who you are, just doing a young intro, introducing yourself in your arts?
Yeah, man. Xitha Maketa, Pretoria-based writer, Mamelodi, represent, well, I'm just a performer, an all-round writer in general, so yeah, man.
So basically he's an artist, guys.
Basically.
That's awesome, bro. That's awesome. So you just did a wonderful piece from his book called Bits and Pieces. The piece is entitled Pen Points. So I'm sure you've seen the structure of our show.
Yeah.
This is where we go into you and your writing process,
Yeah.
where you invite us basically into how you write and why you choose the words you do, and to structure your thoughts and to give the world a piece of your art. So with that in mind, would you mind explaining what this poem means and what inspired it? How did it come about as a poem, basically?
Yeah. Well, initially inspired by a painting, or in fact, rather, a response, to a painting, that really caused a stir in the country. It was a painting by, I think it's a Cape Town-based artist. He did a painting titled The Spear of President Jacob Zuma, former President Jacob Zuma. So yeah, that painting, this poem basically came around that time. That was the period that inspired this.
The poem.
The poem. Yeah.
Okay, so it's another artist learning from another artist.
Basically, it's the inspiration.
Oh, it's the inspiration, yeah.
Yeah, from the conversation that the painting stirred. You know what I'm saying? So now the response that the public gave to the painting sort of like inspired me. You know what I'm saying?
That's beautiful, man.
Yeah.
Wow. Without further ado, it's a fairly short one, so we can do more than a couple of lines here.
Sure.
So if you don't mind, let's just dive into it.
No problem.
You opened the poem by saying this pen vomit compositions of a dead scribe.
Yeah.
Would you mind explaining this line?
Yeah. Well, like the title says, pen point. So this is basically the pen, and I am the dread scribe, with the pen in hand, so it is basically the pen that represents me, my thoughts, my feelings, my emotions, and all that, and my environment, most importantly, basically.
So you bleed through the pen, the poem, the pen vomits.
Yeah, my feelings, my thoughts, you know what I'm saying?
It's beautiful, bro.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. The next line is he mimics dance of silent monuments that watch us like scarecrows.
Yeah.
Wow, Steve, man, what do you mean here?
He mimic dance of silent monuments that watch us like scarecrows.
Yeah.
Well, the pen.
Mm-hmm. Oh, this is the pen.
The pen. It's not the writer. It is the pen that sort of like mimics the monuments. Because now I don't know if we really introspect and search deep about what these monuments really stand for. Because in Pretoria, as a capital city, we have so many monuments, that are erected everywhere. But then we don't really connect you know, with what the monuments represent. You know what I'm saying? So the pen, and I always, like I said, I always wanted to shoot a poetry series around these monuments. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, now this is me basically just taking the shortcut instead of just shooting that thing.
You put it in your piece.
In my piece. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, the pen mimics this dance of these monuments that watch us, you know, like scarecrows, you know, if you know what a scarecrow is about. So yeah.
That's beautiful. Okay, side note, so do you still have that plan to shoot your poetry around the monument, or that's a dream that died?
I don't know, maybe if I get the energy, you know, because I don't think I have that energy to do it now, you know. I'm preoccupied with other things. So if I get that energy to sort of like try and shoot, then it's a project that I would really do.
No, because I think it's a beautiful project, man. I would love
for sure.
to see it come to life. Okay, let's continue then.
Yeah, man.
Secret agents reason, secret agent season, sin, sun, saving, safe. Ah, this is so beautiful. This alliteration, guys. Okay, let me go back. Secret agent season, sea, sun, saving serpents, and mother fathers come out of the closet to frown at paintings and galleries of explicit content. Okay, moving away from just the art that's in this alliteration here. What do these two lines represent? What are you trying to say here?
Secret agent season. Everyone is watching everyone, you know. We are on Twitter, we are on social media, so we are all secret agents somewhere, somehow, you know. So everyone is watching everyone. So it's that season, secret agent season, saving serpents, you know. Serpents, you know, can be someone who is basically on the negative side of progression, you know, be it political, be it, you know, as long as you're trying to pull down the society, the individual to progress, you know, you are a serpent, you know. So I look at you as someone who really isn't there for the upliftment of mankind, you know. So I think that's where and it's a thought that came from a political perspective, looking at how politicians and all of them do their things, you know. So I see them as people who really don't want to advance progressive movement of humanity, you know.
So true.
So yeah.
So true. So okay. So now, are these now the same people who, because you say they come out to frown at paintings and galleries of explicit content?
Yeah.
Do you feel like those political figures are the ones now who shun what like the general public is?
Yeah. So now what happens is that secret agencies in sea, sun, saving serpents, mother fathers come out of the closet, right? Now these mother fathers can be anyone, you know, who is somehow, now this is where now the core of the poem was inspired. It was the reaction of the community from the painting.
Not just
now,
the painting itself,
not just the painting. Now mother fathers now come out of the closet to frown at these paintings in galleries of explicit content, of the so-called explicit content. You know what I'm saying? So even the then president, you know, didn't really take, you know, he didn't really enjoy the painting, you know. He wanted that painting to fall, you know what I'm saying? So that's how our mothers and fathers come out to really shun down on the art. And now remember, art documents the time. It reveals exactly what is happening, you know. So if you're gonna shun at art, you know, I look at you as someone who doesn't understand. You know what I'm saying? You don't get that art is not an enemy. It is a documenter of the time. So if you look at art and observe art, you understand the time that you are in. You know, so we're not there to insult people. You know, art is not there to insult. It is just there to depict the period and the thought process of a people. So now people were so aggressive towards the artist and the painting itself. They in fact tore it down. You know what I'm saying? So people were so angry at that. You know, but then they didn't question where the artist got the inspiration. You know, they didn't ask how can and now. Personally, me looking at it, I see it as an artist basically expressing every man's thought. When you are in a taxi, at a clinic, you know, at a bank, and when we start talking about politics, especially at that time, President Zuma at that time was someone everyone was talking about his rape cases.
Yes.
You know, it was a conversation that everyone was having
It was
at that
there.
time. It
It's
was
not like it
there.
just
You know
came
what I'm
out of
saying?
nowhere, yeah.
So the artist just took that material and then put it out there, and now everyone got angry. You know, you know what I'm saying? So now that it reflected the power of art for me. You know what I'm saying?
No, I get you, bro.
Yeah, man.
That's beautiful, bro. That's wow. Okay, I know. Now, I think now I understand where the next line comes from. Because it says, "Wave." It's more wave. More artists attempts to recycle their voices silenced
Yeah.
with this freedom of expression question mark.
Yeah.
So now it's like, okay, you said we have this freedom of expression,
Yeah.
but as soon as we express,
Yeah.
you now come and shine us and throw stones at our arts.
You know what I'm saying?
And I feel like every other artist has felt this before with their work, because being critiqued usually by people who are not artists themselves, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is what happened.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
So basically, that's just how it shows now. As artists now, as a community of artists.
Yeah.
Now every time when we start working, you sort of like try to consider the community, the response that the people are gonna give. You know. So now you don't necessarily create
Or it's
from
not-
your
yeah.
own. You know, you have these critiques that are waiting for that work, and then once they get the work, you wonder what they're gonna say. So now you create work around
People's reaction.
people's reactions and whatnot. So now it sort of like kills your own expression in a way, you know what I'm saying? Which is sad, I
Yeah,
think.
it's very sad.
Yeah.
Very sad. Okay, guys, let's continue. It's, Then that some get insulted when art raise vexed questions, proposing discussions of topics that disgust us. Because I mind just diving into, I know you've touched on it, but
Yeah.
maybe something we've missed just on these vexed questions.
Proposing discussions,
Yeah.
and that's what art does, right? It proposes discussions. You know, it puts discussions on topics on the table for us to discuss. And now you find that once it does that, depending on the reaction of the community, you know, art is viewed in a different angle, at a different way. You know, people enjoy art. You know, the bourgeoisie type people who gonna, you know, look at art as a beautiful thing, as something to just digest and let go, you know, and then there are those who are going to observe art and really take what art really brings, you know what I'm saying? And these are, I mean, we use art for different things, you know, people use art for leisure, others use art to really, really communicate the situations and problems or whatever that they find themselves in, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay, and then you close off the piece with these two. With these two dope lines. You say, but we throw stones at messengers. They harvest our screams for exhibitions.
Yeah.
Just close it off, man. What did you mean?
Which is a perception of the community that artists harvest, you know, the screams.
Oh.
You know, we harvest, we you know, we harvest these things for exhibitions. You know, we pull all these works together. We do this photography. We do this, you know, fine artists and whatever. And which are the screams of the community, the society, the environment that we are in. You know, so now they think that we document these things, you know, and you know, just for exhibitions.
Oh,
You know,
yeah.
we just want to exhibit this and
Just to
that's
show,
it.
just
You know
to-
what I'm saying?
Yeah. I've heard this debate when people saying people are benefiting of sometimes they'll say black pain. You know, artists will benefit of black pain by the movies we make, the shows we do, the stories we write.
Yeah.
So wow, that's
You know,
So
so
that's the same
yeah,
point.
that's basically what it is. Now you find the community now, because of the perception that they have that
Yeah.
artists, you know, now they start throwing stones. You know, they start now getting into these galleries and tearing down our paintings. And you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like they feel angry at what the art presents. So which is, you know, it's a sad thing. You know, so basically that poem talks about the sadness of how an artist can create a piece of work, document the time, which is a duty. You know, I look at it as a duty of an artist, you know, because we know about history because artists documented that history, you know what I'm saying? So it's a duty of art. It's what art really does. So now people get angry because of art documenting the time. You know, it's a very sad thing for me. You know, it was a very sad moment, you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
wow. Wow, that's the piece, guys. That's 10 points. Bro, do you feel like there's something I missed or some other thoughts that you might have around the piece? Or did you cover it?
Well, I don't know. Maybe it sounds nicer when you read it. Maybe it sounds nicer when you see me perform it. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? But then at the end of the day, I think you can't sum it up. You know,
Yeah,
it's lines that are stacked there, so you can pick whatever line that you wanna follow, and think about it. You know what I'm saying? So yeah.
Because that's what like the art is. It's just there for your interpretation.
Exactly.
You guys can go back and listen to it.
Yeah, man.
One question that I like to ask artists, especially on their works, is when you were writing, given that you wrote this piece and you were inspired by the painting, now that the piece is on paper, do you feel like it achieved whatever you wanted to achieve? Like in your own head, do you feel like the thoughts that were there that wanted to be on paper, do you feel like it's achieved there, or do you feel like there's more that the piece could have done, or that the piece could do?
Well, I think for the fact that I wrote it, it's achieved. You know,
achieved,
like because it's
yeah.
my personal expression, it's my thought, it's my feeling. So for writing it, it's perfect. Well, people can take it wherever they wanna take it,
Yeah.
but for me personally, I've achieved, of writing that poem. I feel that it's a poem that I wanted to write at that time, and I wrote it,
And
So,
we did release whatever.
yeah, and I
you wanted.
released, whatever that was in me, at the time.
This is wonderful, bro.
So yeah.
So this book is called Bits and Pieces. Where can people get it if they want it? Is it available?
Well, we are in the last printing of it. It's been out since 2016. Yeah.
2016. Wow.
Yeah.
Timeless stuff, guys. Timeless stuff.
So
yeah.
since 2016, but hopefully you can still find it at any Protea bookshop around Gauteng.
Okay.
If it's still in stock. Otherwise, shout at me. I'm on Facebook, I'm on Twitter, I'm on Instagram. So yeah.
That's awesome. Since you are already there, thank you, bro. What are your socials then? When can
Socials. Facebook, Xitha Maketa. Twitter, Xitha_M. Instagram, Xitha.m.
That's
So,
dope.
yeah.
Thank you so much, bro, for joining me, and it's a privilege, to have this opportunity to interview you and to go through your thoughts. Thank you so much. I hope you continue.
Man, thanks for the platform. Documenting as ever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Remember, like the page, subscribe, go on Apple Podcast, go on Podbean to check out the other episodes. It's your boy Kwane. Remember, love weight, love peace. Peace.